The good, the bad, the ugly.
Welcome, Crab Nation, to episode 2 of The Good, the Bad, the Ugly! This is a series where I, the Crab Dad, pretend to be a wise critic while handsomely shitting all over video game titles. Today's episode is all about Silent Hill F! We just finished up our first playthrough last night on Twitch, and I knew from like the first hour of playing this game that I was going to be making this episode of The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. So for those of you that don't know shit about Silent Hill F, here's a quick summary.
A story of lineage, curses, addiction,
and real shitty friends. Silent Hill F is basically the story of Hinako, a bullied, awkward teenager who gets treated so bad the town itself says, you know what? Let's turn this trauma into plants that want to murder you! Every monster is like one of her diary entries come to life. Except instead of angst and bad poetry, it's angry drum corpse demons, bandage creatures, and walking pairs of fucking scissors! Scissors that are hungry for the kill. And to be honest...
Crabby, this game is deep, man. You better give this game some goddamn love right now!
Okay, I will. Silent Hill F weaves together themes deeply rooted in Japanese folklore, generational trauma, and personal suffering. At its core, the narrative explores an ancient curse that binds entire family lineages, particularly targeting young women who carry the weight of tradition, expectation, and inherited pain. Pain! Without love, pain can't get enough. The story also confronts stark, real-world issues like domestic violence, the scars of social bullying, don't be that guy, and destructive cycles of addiction. Characters embody struggles of self-worth, forced into roles and identities they never chose. The reoccurring motif of entrapment becomes central, whether it's the suffocating feeling of living in a body you don't like. Your nose isn't that bad. Being bound to a family whose love is conditional, or not present at all, because he's a drunk and she's pitiful. Or facing the crushing influence of cultural norms and community judgment. Sound familiar? Okay, wait. These episodes are supposed to be a lot more fun and a lot less informative. Let's get back on track. Let's start with the ugly. Ready for some Hostel meets Saul shit? You got it. From human lava boils to multiple hangings, dismemberment, face removal, branding, and even some domestic violence sprinkled on top of this little cake of pain. All I can say is Silent Hill F doesn't hold back. Another ugly thing about the game is the mobility. Moving around the map is pretty cumbersome at times. Multiple occasions, I couldn't figure out where I could or couldn't stand, what I could go down or up, if anything at all. Especially early on, it was, and here's the thing, I like to loot. So multiple times I was just running into an invisible wall. The mobility aspect of the game was also so annoying when I would get stuck between two enemies without the ability to get away. I just had to sit there and get sliced to death. Nobody puts baby in a corner. There was also a lot of space on the map that you just couldn't go. It was just completely off access. From the fields in the town to multiple building locations you just could not go inside of. I wanted some more exploration in this game, and maybe I need to play it again, which is something I'm probably gonna say a lot of times. I would also like a little bit more breakable environment. Just something, let me kick a bucket, let me run into a towel on a clothesline and see it move. Those little things to me really help. They help. I want some breakable environment. It doesn't have to be the finals breakable environment. Another ugly thing about the game was the limited regular enemies. Towards the end of the game, I think I would have enjoyed more enemies rather than repurposing the previous ones time and time again. Most of the enemies came about through the game as backstory was being told to us, and it made sense. But near the end, it felt like they were just being repurposely positioned time and time again, which makes sense in some of the scenes as you're actually running back through the shrine the way you came. But I would like to have seen some maybe fox enemies from the other family she was married into, or maybe some drug addictive enemies towards the end. Just a little something to spice up the ending, which, by the way, is pretty thrilling. But I would have liked to have seen some other enemies there too. Again, I might have to play it again. Now, there's two puzzles that I find quite ugly, and I have to say, no. The Fox mural puzzle and the Scarecrow Fields. Just no. These puzzles sucked. And even though I completed them, I don't know how I completed them.
Fuck
I was
you.
playing the puzzles on hard, and maybe I'm just low IQ. I'm proud of it. No, I'm not. Time to switch over to the bad. Admittedly, some things culturally here were completely lost on me. I also think this game was a bit too subtle on some of the pretty massive key elements to the actual story and the true reality of the events taking place. I'm a big fan of ambiguity, but there are a few major elements here that I wish had just been a bit more fleshed out via the first playthrough. But again, this is a several playthrough type of game, so it's hard to judge, it's hard to even review, it's hard to make sense of it all! Normally, I don't think I'd want to play something this ambiguous again. The story. I might end up changing my mind here
Once we play it again.
but I'm not really a fan of having to play a game multiple times to get pieces of the real story or to get a more fulfilling ending. I will say, the game is on the shorter side, so that's a benefit. Also, I've heard from Reddit articles that there's ways to get through the game very quickly once you've beat it once. But why would you want to do that? Now you want to read every single note and piece everything together, and this means this and that means that.
And oh my gosh, I never saw that. The second playthrough is really the first playthrough. The first playthrough is not even really a playthrough because if you don't play it a second time, it's not even a full playthrough because you have to play it twice for it to be a full playthrough. What am I saying?
The melee. I do like a game being melee combatively focused. But I ask you this, does it make sense with all of the political war references, both societal and on a family basis, and the massive killing at the end? Does it make sense to completely withhold weapons of a firing nature out of this game? Because how does a 20-year-old shrimp kill multiple people at her wedding with a kitchen knife? Isn't someone just gonna stop her? I don't know, man. She might be on some Kill Bill shit. Now it's time for the good. And there's a lot of good in this game, so let's talk about it. Regular enemies. The monsters and their visual, tactile correlation to Hinako's issues and trauma. Blade legs, self-mutilation. The Kashimashis. The Kashimashis are the bullies to me. From their sharp attacks, which could represent the verbal attacks from her friends, and the loud movement sounds, which could represent sort of the loud judgment from everyone in her life, because no one's nice to her. Like no one is nice to this girl. The shackled monster is probably the most obvious one. He's shackled down by the wrists and by the neck. Every single aspect of Hinako's life is basically weighed down and trapped. From her family, to her friends, to her culture, to society, to even her own feelings about anything. She feels pretty fucking trapped, wouldn't you? More or less, the shackled monster is a physical manifestation of helplessness and feeling stuck. The drum monster is a symbolic ode to the ritualistic oppression being faced upon Hinako, and I believe her sister as well. The beat goes on with generational trauma. In the form of ritualistic weddings, because daddy's broke ass had to sell us off so that he could buy more sake. Major bosses. Now, I'm not going to talk too much about the major bosses, but I have a standout favorite, and it's definitely Rinko. Every scene in the game you see Rinko, she is fuming with jealousy. So the fact that she gets boiled in lava and then becomes a lava monster boss makes so much sense. Because I can tell you, anytime I've ever been real mad, I get hot, like right here. And the fact that she's spewing lava at Hinako makes for one of the most spectacularly visual and metaphorically accurate fights of the game. And I just thought it was really cool and well done, and it felt personal. Honestly, like, are all the boys in this town ugly? Because Shu is... What's so great about Shu? Also really enjoyed that every single memory you see of her parents, dad is just screaming and yelling and being a big loud mouth. So the fact that he's the big bubblegum butt monster with that huge ass fucking mouth, always ramming into mom and her pitiful ass, that really came together for me, showing what Hinako thought of her parents in a monster form. It works really, really well. Fun fact about this boss fight, if you kill the bubblegum butt monster first, aka her dad, you don't have to kill mom. And you get a special achievement for all you achievement people out there. The last major boss I'll talk about is the Shiro Muko thing that represents the Japanese wedding dress evolutionary final stage of Hinako, which she fights. Marriage is a key component throughout the entirety of this game. From the very first scene where Hinako is talking to her sister Junko and places that little bell inside of her wedding dress. She apparently just got married, and this theme takes place throughout the whole game, even though it's very subtly hinted at. It is a reoccurring theme of the game. Wedding's a part of the game. Now, if you're like me and don't know what typical Japanese cultural attire looks like for weddings, then you might have missed this right from the beginning. But that's okay, because this is a game that you play multiple times, and if you're going to play it twice, is the only real way to play it once, I think. Ambiguity. Even the F in the game's title is left to interpretation, although it probably is related to something floral, as the constant theme throughout the game is floral nightmare. Some others have speculated and tied it to a medicine that appears in other Silent Hill titles. Now, I've only played the Silent Hill 2 remake in this one, so I can't speculate there. And if you want to go down that rabbit hole, there are a lot of YouTube videos going real in depth. A couple of them I saw were about 3 hours long, so if you like that rabbit hole shit, it's out there. Go click on it. However, if you want to skip all that shit and you want to know the real reason for what the F stands for, my chat and my Crab Nation, we figured it out. Brace yourselves. Silent Hill F, the F stands for Fortnite! That's right, there's going to be an amazing crossover coming very soon with Silent Hill F characters showing up in Fortnite. Make sure to subscribe below for the first and most up-to-date information about this breaking story. You're gonna get it here. I also love the nature of what is real, what is a dream, what is the other world. It jumps back and forth and almost contradicts itself time and time again, but it's all just tiny little crumbs to a very deep, in-depth, sad ass story. All the best books in the world get read multiple times. Should this not be so for in-depth, ambiguous video games? We really are gonna have to play this again. Combat. And I said it 1,000 times, the combat was clunky, funky. However, it served the flow and pacing of the game perfectly, if you ask me. The monsters' design and the way they fought varied a ton, yet there was always a surefire way to face them in combat, even with the slow, clunky, funky style. I wouldn't say it's my favorite style of combat, but I thought it was unique and a pretty fun challenge, and really rememberable. I'm not gonna forget this combat. The message. After all the ins and outs and what ifs and whatnots and is he alive? Is she dead? Is this real? Is this fake? Is this reality? What's what? This creative as fuck, beautiful, and very complicated game and story, I think boils down to a simple message. Make your own choices. And figure out who you are in this fucked up world and all of its fucked up shit. If you manage to make your own choices and figure out who you are, then just maybe you won't kill a bunch of people at your wedding. Maybe. Silent Hill F is a standout horror game, if you're asking me, from the setting to the in-depth, crazy story, which I could not have anticipated being so involved as it was, to all of the traumas plaguing the main protagonist, to the execution of the story, its combat, its music, its themes. I can't help but say, well done. I mean, I haven't seen so many videos on YouTube about ending explained since a game like this. And I think there's something to be said about that. And to be honest with you, I think we're gonna have to fucking play it again. Make sure to like, subscribe, and comment below. Let us know your favorite aspect of Silent Hill F, your absolute #1 favorite aspect in the comments below. I wanna know what you guys think. And that's gonna do it for our second episode of The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. Now I gotta get out of here because unfortunately I have to go to a wedding. Just kidding! 2 tunes for the Crab Nation!